welcome to the program. I am Ama Marcus, live from Abuja, Nigeria. This is Global Digest. We start from Africa, where the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has played a pivotal role in addressing humanitarian challenges within the West African region through various initiatives. Some initiatives include regional humanitarian efforts. ECOWAS has been instrumental in mediating conflict and deploying peacekeeping forces in countries like Liberia, Sierra Leone, Mali, and Guinea-Bissau. These interventions aim to stabilize regions, protect civilians, and facilitate humanitarian assistance. On disaster response, ECOWAS, in collaboration with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, has enhanced its capacity to respond to humanitarian emergencies. Now, these include natural disasters and displacement crises. On food security initiatives, the West African Security Storage System, established by ECOWAS, addresses food and nutritional crises by managing regional food reserves to support vulnerable populations during shortages. Security is on the high seas is no longer just a concern for governments. It directly affects the livelihoods and lives of millions across West Africa. Thanks to the support of West Africa Integrated Maritime Security Project, communities are now witnessing a transformation in maritime security, from tackling piracy to securing fishing livelihoods. ECOWAS is making a real difference. For years, piracy, illegal fishing, and maritime crime have threatened coastal communities and businesses in West Africa. But today, the tide is turning. This is thanks to the SWAMS project, an initiative funded by the European Union and implemented by ECOWAS. This project is to strengthen maritime security across the region. Giving more information on this is Captain Issa Noah. He is a global maritime safety and security expert and an executive officer working with African Maritime Safety and Security. Hello, Captain. Thank you for joining the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so talk to us briefly about your experience with these SWAMS projects.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so could you talk to us briefly about your experience with the SWAMS project?
Okay. First of all, I will start by defining SWAMS. SWAMS is the Support to West Africa Integrated Maritime Security Project. This is a project that is aimed at building capacity, supporting law enforcement agencies in the fight against maritime crime, strengthening legal capacity to investigate and prosecute maritime offenses.
Okay.
So reaching out to various security centers in the region and also promoting interagency collaboration and coordination in the West African South.
So could you talk us through some of the challenges you'd face on the countries that are around the maritime region, the challenges that they face in that time?
Oh.
Hello, Captain Issa, can you hear me? Okay.
The challenges evolve around maritime insecurity, piracy, drug smuggling, IUU fishing, illegal fishing, occurring in the maritime space of the Gulf of Guinea. And these challenges are threats. Challenges became threats to global maritime trade because the ECOWAS sub-region is a transit to global maritime trade. So it's a great challenge because it affects free navigation of ships that transit the ECOWAS sub-region. So these were the challenges that were occurring before the establishment of the SWAMS project.
Well, how did you hear about the project, and also what motivated you to be a part of it?
Well, for me, 2019, on the 9th of October, I was particularly invited by the government of Nigeria to participate in a global maritime safety and conference. This Global Maritime Security Safety Conference was held in Abuja. And after making my input, after various sessions of this conference, the European Union delegation, who was the team lead of the project, approached me. And thereafter, we established levels of communication because my input in that conference was in a balance with what Swine is about to execute in the region. So that was how I get involved in the project.
Okay, so from your perspective so far, how has that project improved maritime security in the region?
Well, it has really impacted and it has made great improvements regarding maritime safety and security in the ECOWAS sub-region. Because this project is a unique and a dynamic project in the region, and the ideas behind this project is very incredible because the project was implemented looking at the AIMS strategy, the ECOWAS Integrated Maritime Strategy, and the improvement is massive. It's a whole lot. We're looking at capacity building at the operational phase, educational phase, and professional level. So this project is like a legacy that has been left by the EU in the ECOWAS sub-region. It has built the capacities of both navies and coast guard in the ECOWAS sub-region, including the civil society organizations, law enforcement agencies like the Marine Police, customs, fisheries organizations, and all that. So it's an input that can never be forgotten in the ECOWAS sub-region.
Okay, so as a result of this, have you noticed any reduction in maritime crimes, or crimes like piracy, illegal fishing, since the project was implemented?
Yes, to a larger extent, the region has experienced tremendous change, as I said, because before the project was implemented, there were a high level of piracy occurring in the ECOWAS sub-region, which cut across Central Africa as well, which is ECAS. So the project has been able to build capacities of officers to respond to various maritime challenges. And these challenges entails piracy, kidnapped and hijacked of seafarers and their ships in the region. So it's a great input that this project has made, and it has really reduced illegal fishing and other maritime crimes because the project helped to integrate the relationship, to establish this network and relationship between member states. So when this relationship is being established, the project relates directly with member states and they get the right personalities, officers to engage with when it comes to capacity building, for example. So they relate with various agencies and ministry, key stakeholders to make sure that they get them on board to build their capacity to respond to all these maritime challenges, to fight maritime crime at large, not only in the ECOWAS sub-region, but cutting across the Central Africa, which is now the Gulf of Guinea. And this Gulf of Guinea is a very sensitive and very vulnerable maritime trade route over the years, but it has become very safe, very, very safe to a larger extent for maritime trade because the piracy you used to hear of those days are no more the piracy you hear of at the moment. So these are the great mites that the Swines project has really made.
Okay, now let's look at the role ECOWAS has played in ensuring the project benefits as many people as possible. Could you talk to us about that?
Yes, ECOWAS stands as the Economic Committee for the West African state and is the organization that spearheads this project. In as much as the project is funded by the EU, ECOWAS makes sure that they coordinate and monitor this project to work in accordance with the ECOWAS Integrated Maritime Strategy and the frameworks within the sub-region. So that has also gone a long way to tell you how committed ECOWAS is looking at safety and security of free navigation in its region. And to contribute more to that, they make sure that the headquarters of this project is situated inside the ECOWAS Commission, the Peace and Security Department precisely. So this is a big sign. This is a viable light to let the public or the region know that they are fully involved, they are carried along in this project, and they are not leaving anyone behind. Because in the ECOWAS Commission, we have the representative of all the member states present. So the project is indeed an integrated maritime security project.
Okay, so away from ECOWAS and other international organizations who are working to make sure they increase maritime security, how can local communities contribute in strengthening the security in the West African region?
Well, there's a whole lot for the local community to do when it comes to maritime safety and security at large, because they have a role to play. Even their role is even recognized by the International Maritime Organization. If I can remember, when we had the Global Maritime Security Conference, they can serve as a watchdog in the course of maritime activities. They can stand as that platform to monitor the activities of key stakeholders, IOC, international oil companies, and ship liners, and all the maritime trade that happens that is linked to their community. They can monitor all of this, and if these practices are in violation of any law, they can at least report to the appropriate authority. They stand as one of the arm of the government in those communities to report whatever they see that is not favorable to their state or to their community. So I can use the Niger Delta, for example, where you have parties that can report to the Navy, can report to other key stakeholders to respond to various situations. It can be search and rescue, it can be oil spillage, it can be maritime crisis, whatever it is that is affecting the blue economy. They can relate to the government, because the Swines project has helped in that area to build workshop capacity of coastal dwellers to also share information. So they share information to appropriate maritime organizations and agencies, even the navies and coast guard in the West African region. So looking at fisheries, which is protein to livelihood, so they have also accomplished a lot in that area in supporting organizations by sharing information on rules of engagement, rules that have to do with the laws of the sea and all of that when it comes to the safety and security of their communities that is being linked to the maritime space to protect their ocean and resources. So they've been doing that, and they keep on working to gain perfection in that area.
Okay. Well, it's beautiful to have you on the show today. Thank you so much, Captain Issa, for giving us those updates. We really appreciate you.
I'm delighted to have you, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, if you're just joining us, we have been speaking with Captain Issa Noah. He is a global maritime safety and security expert and an executive officer who is working with African maritime safety and security. Well, from peacekeeping to disaster relief, ECOWAS is working and proving that regional cooperation is not just about politics, it is about people. Well, as the region faces new challenges, one thing is clear. ECOWAS is committed to bringing a force for good, ensuring that West Africa remains strong, resilient, and ready for the future.